for an evening filled with paranormal, special guests, interviews, haunting stories, creatures of the unknown, and tales that will chill you to the bone. Brought to you by the UPRN Network and Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. Take a walk into the night with Shawn Kelly.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? This is Shawn. I got my producer, Joe Montaldo, here with me, and we're just going to sit around and talk. Nope, I guess I'm on my own. That's okay. So how's everybody today? I hope they're doing okay. You know, this is January, and we just got hit with a lot of snow. All right, but that's normal for up here in Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh, and the surrounding northeastern part of the world. But hey, Joe, again.
Wait! I got a question.
You have a question, all right?
Why do you people live where it snows?
Now, look, I'm going to come down New Orleans, dude, and see what I can do about it.
So there's a place in our country, people, real quick, because I got to let Shawn have a show back. There's two places actually in our country. You don't want to live in the heartland because it's Tornado Valley. You don't want to live in Deep South because it's Hurricane Valley. But there's a section over a little bit over from Tennessee all the way over to about Virginia, down in between. There's no tornadoes. There's no hurricanes. There's no nothing. There ain't even a lot of snow. You just chill. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Everybody's going to move there. But I'm telling you, there's a place out west like that. But not on the coast. On the west coast, it's shake and bake out there.
Right.
And up north, it's freezing. You know what's off. And down here, it's dodged the hurricanes. And
yeah. Indeed.
It's cool. And right now, it's Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that's
until March 1st, people. Don't come down. We don't want no tourists. Stay your ass at wherever you belong. No, we don't want no stinking tourists. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, let me let you. In fact, we can just hijacking shit.
That's all right, brother. That was my producer, Joe. He's the coolest dude in the world, man. But yeah, we have a lot of snow up here, and I have noticed that the attitudes of people, you know, especially when around this time of the year, it's just that a lot of people get, you know, moody and angry and not too happy. None smile. They'd rather fight. And that's not cool because being an empath, I hear what other people are feeling and I feel it. And you know, it drives me so crazy that I want to get angry back. But I know if I do get angry, then I'm not a good person. I am not a good person at all. And I mean, and with all the COVID going on, with everything being stuck in your house for the longest time, you know, it just really bothers me. You know, I miss the times where I could just go out and to sit down and talk to people and go out to a restaurant, have a cup of coffee, you know, go camp and do something. But no, it just, you have to watch what you got to do. And it's ridiculous, you know, and a lot of people are on edge and I see it and I feel it. And then people come up with these wild stories and these wild videos and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't understand. And I'm wondering if my listeners out there or my viewers feel the same way. So if you are, just, you know, drop me a comment and we can go from there. But today, earlier on the first show on Chasing Prophecy, we were talking about the time traveler from 3036. Okay. There was a little 37-minute video on it with Tubi. And it was like about this guy that was supposed to come from 3036, time traveler. And, you know, I was all pumped up, you know, watching the show, researching it, stuff like that. And, you know, because it was going to be part of the show topic. And to the first 5 minutes, I was just shaking my head like, this is bullshit, you know? And I'm thinking, well, why do people have to put something out there that isn't true? All right. Do I believe in time traveling? I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with that. Um, to me, it's just, I cannot see it happening. Okay. And think about it. Me and Joe were talking earlier about time travelers, you know, what he shared with me. And, you know, think about it, right? If you do some time traveling, you don't exist in the world that you are today. Think about it, right? So everybody that you know, okay, everybody that you know won't know who you are because you don't exist in this world. That would suck. Definitely would suck, you know. And who knows if you did go back, but you never came back. Um, that would be crazy. Uh, I don't know if I could do it. I don't think I would want to leave where I'm at right now because I believe that I'm here on this planet at this very time talking to you on the show that I need to be here. Do I believe it was written before in the books? Yeah. I believe my life was set on what I was supposed to do from the day I was born. And I'm supposed to be with you guys today. And what's really crazy is think about it, right? You know, I brought up this little thing with on the last show. You know, you die, okay, and you go to heaven, and God said you got one more day to live, so I'm going to send you back, and I grant you one request. And being the person I am, you know, like I like to take a little gambling, and I was like, okay, can you give me the results for the races? And you're like, okay. So he sends me back. He gives me the results from the races, and I'm thinking, oh, I got all this money. Boom, I can bet these races. But you know what? Getting up there to the teller to give him my money to place my bet, you know what? I will hear somebody else say something else. And instead of going by what the paper said that God gave me, I would listen to this guy and I'd end up losing. You know? So a lot of people think that, not a lot of people, but some people think if you can go back in time and you can actually, you know, make a wrong right, or try to understand why your relationship broke up or why you lost your job, what can you do to prevent it? To me, I can't see that happening because what was supposed to happen at that time, all right, it was supposed to happen, okay? And there's nothing we can change. You know, why would you want to change what has happened to you? What's it going to give you? All right, so okay, we go back, all right, and we're going back to 1972, okay, and 72, you did this and you did that and you changed it, and all of a sudden, your life ain't right, you know? Your life is not right. Your whole world, your whole being that you went through for 59 years has changed. So you're starting at 10. I know this sounds so confusing. It really is. But you know what? I couldn't do it. No, not at all. Uh-uh. So for me, this dude that did this little video with the guy from 3036, you know, God bless him. You know, I can't judge him. But to me, if you want to put something out there like um, that this is the real time travel from 3036, then, you know, then maybe he has some important stuff. And it was just was not right, you know. So again, to me, that's media falsifying everything again in order to make us understand that, there is a year 3036 and the world's going to end in 2080, and people who are born are going to born with a lot of metallic magnesium inside their blood, and it was just crazy, you know. Now, is it possible that there's something out there that someone can time travel? I don't, in my opinion only, I don't believe so. I don't believe so at all. But I do respect the people who do believe in it, because you need to do that. You need to have that respect for people and what they believe. And maybe this guy who wrote this little documentary, um, you know, could be believable. I don't know where his frame of mind was when he wrote the story. But, it's on Tubi, okay, and it's called something about the time travel from 3036. So that's all I have to say about that thing on time travel, and maybe I'll bring it up a little bit more. But our guest, Martin, he was a pretty cool dude. I forget his last name. Sorry, Martin, I know that much. But, a lot of, I brought up this question to him. When you go, like I go to Gettysburg a lot, and I also, when I'm there at Gettysburg, I'll be on the battlefield, and I can hear the gun being fired. I can smell the gunpowder. I can hear the screamings, the killings, the pain, the torture that these guys went through up there. And I asked, did we time lapse? Did I time travel? Am I time traveling there when I go into Gettysburg? And I kind of think maybe I'm on the cusp of time traveling. Like I got one foot in my world and another foot in another world. Is it possible? Maybe. Maybe. I can't answer that one. But all I know is that I can share my experience with you, that this has happened a lot. So maybe I did do a little time traveling. But, are you guys playing my chain, pulling my chain? Are you gathering aliens? No, Jamie, we are not gathering aliens at all. Not at all, not one bit. We were talking about time travel, nothing about aliens yet, but do you have any questions about aliens? Maybe I can answer for you. Playing your chain. I don't play nobody's chain. What I do is when I do my show, I just come out and say what I know is in my heart and what's on my mind, and just bring it out. Do I believe that there are aliens? Yeah, I do believe there are. Do I believe in alien ships or UFOs or UAPs, whatever the hell you want to call them? Yeah, right? Because being with Chasing Prophecy and listening to other people who are very knowledgeable on UFOs and aliens, yeah, they're smart. They do the research and stuff like that, and so yeah, I believe that. But I'm a different type of person. Though. For me, okay, being a paranormal investigator, I have seen ghosts. Okay, I have talked to ghosts. I've been in presence with ghosts. And so to me, I know that ghosts are real. Okay, for me, it's pure fact. Now, for me, okay, I would like to see a spaceship land in the back of my yard. Yeah. And when I actually see that spaceship, I'm halfway there. They do exist. Now, if an alien came out of that craft, what would I do? I'd go up and shake its hand and say, "Welcome to Earth." And then, after seeing the alien and seeing the UFO, then whatever I was taught, whatever I was listening to, you know, it's there, you know, and it's legit. And I can actually say without a doubt that aliens and UFOs exist. Okay. Now, do I think that aliens, the technology that we have here in the world right now, that is stemmed from aliens? Yes, I do. I believe so. Think about it. Whenever Roswell that happened, I'm going to say 1956. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But like a couple, 2 or 3 years later, they started to come out with microwaves, and they started coming out with radios and CBs and all kinds of stuff that has this different type of technology. So I'm sure we didn't learn it overnight. We didn't. But to me, it's alien. Hey, Stuart, how are you tonight? Welcome to the show. Um, so I believe that the technology that we got from the aliens is the ones that got us going with the microwaves and the telephones. And if you look at our planes now, our fighter planes, they've almost built them. Hey, Augie, how you doing, bud? Thank you for coming on the show. So with the airplanes and stuff like that, yeah, it's alien technology, absolutely, without no doubt. According to a very old girlfriend of mine, a long, long time ago, that's a double negative. And I guess since you have heard me talk on the show, that yeah, I speak with a lot of double negatives. So for all you people who are into perfectly English speaking people, I'm not the person. I'm not. But so we talked. We were talking about aliens and stuff like that, and that UFO show that I saw earlier on in the day. And I don't know. People got to come up with something better. You know, they really, really do. I remember the one. It was called the Missing 411. I talked about this a couple months ago. It was about a guy investigating people missing up in upstate New York, I do believe it is. And it was a little documentary, which was a really good one. It was called Missing 411 The Hunted. Hey, Jody. Long time no see, sweetie. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. And so with this Missing 411, these guys are disappearing. They're just going to the woods or hunters, walk in 10 yards into the forest and sits on a rock, and his hunting party comes back and they can't find him. So question is, did he go through a portal? Was he abducted by aliens? Nobody knows. Nobody knows at all. And then I think it was like a month or two later, there was a guy that was on his farm. What he did, he disappeared. He was on his farm. So are the aliens coming down and abducting us? Or why are they abducting just these men? Okay. Why in a certain area out there in the United States? I want to say it's around New Mexico and Nevada, and up around that area where a lot of people have been missing, and they are like professional hunters, who are, know how to hunt and are very good at hunting, and they know what they're doing, and all of a sudden they disappear. And a couple months later, they come up. Sometimes they never show up, but sometimes their clothes and their gun are put in a specific place. Is it alien? Could be. It could be. But we will never know. We will never know until, I guess, when we die and we actually talk to the person, that this experienced. when we see them up, out there in spirit world. So we'll figure it out. So, did they abduct old people? Okay, maybe. For what? I don't know. I'm getting close to 60 years old. Yeah, I'm an old fart. But, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But you know what? That's for me to, to find out down the road. But also, with this missing 411, with these people missing, I did a little research on it. And there was a lot of UFO activity going on out there at the time. So maybe they did walk into a portal, and maybe and they were snatched up. And speaking of portals, again, like I mentioned all the time, that I believe that Bigfoot and UFOs coexist. Because think about it, right? You go see these shows on TV, and they pack something up in their infrared cameras, and they see this big hairy ape, and all of a sudden he disappears. Where does he go? I mean, you go down chasing after him and nowhere to be found. You might find their footsteps, their feet marks or broken branches or stuff like that, but they're not around. And where I'm at with that. Do they coexist with each other? Same way with the Thunderbirds, same way with the Wolfman, all the other cryptids that are out there. The cryptids, they fascinate me a lot. I read up on the stories, and I want to get more involved with that for myself. Okay, paranormal hunting is mine. Ghost hunting is my cup of tea. Okay, but being on the show Chasing Prophecy, I have learned a lot about other things that are paranormal. So our radio station that I'm on, UPRN 105.3 New Orleans. New Orleans is fascinating. All the vampires and all the crazy stuff that happens on down there, all the ghost stories. I want to go. I want to experience and actually sit down and have an interview with a vampire. That's funny. But maybe I will someday. Maybe I'll go down and visit Joe, my producer, and then we can go out to the swamps and maybe grab some alligators, or probably, we'll fight some gators. I want to fight a gator. Why not? Life is short. Go out and have fun, do what you want to do. But from listening to the stories that I've heard from Joe, there's a cemetery out there in the swamp, and I forget the name of it. But you know what? That would be pretty interesting to go to. Is there anybody that is listening to the show right now that have any questions? Joni, do you have any questions for me? Augie, do you have any? Please feel free to ask. I think that life for me right now, like I explained earlier into the show, it's not good. Okay, it's not good at all. I'm picking up on a lot of people's anger and hatred and all their different negative energies out there, and it's really, really bothering me. Be honest with you. Even with the medication that I'm taking for my depression and anxiety, I'm not doing good. I don't know if I ever told you this one time, but for me, what would be so great would be that in the whole world, right? The whole world, for one day, everybody be nice to each other. No hatred, no wars, no fighting, people smiling at each other. That would be so sweet. and see what happens. Could we exist with that? Could we exist for one day being nice to everybody and everybody being nice to everybody else? Well, I believe it would happen. That's my biggest that's my biggest hope while I'm on Earth, that everybody is really happy and everyone can, you know, treat everybody with respect. Hi, Denise. I missed some of the show about time travel. Some people say they see the future lives. I wonder what they see. I agree with you. We haven't really talked to anybody yet who has time traveled. In fact, we were supposed to have a couple time travelers on our show a long time ago, but for some reason they did not want to. They didn't want to listen, and they didn't want to be on the show, and we could never get a hold of them. That was kind of funny. Hey, Trish. Hey, hey, Trish Mo there. Hey, Trish. She's our co-host on Chasing Prophecy. How you know, she's coming up with her own show. Starting Monday nights, 9 p.m. on the UPRN radio, 105.3. And I'm telling you what, honest to Pete, she's going to have a good show because she's very smart. She's very intelligent. And Trish, what's the name of your show again? If you want to put it up in the comments down there. But Denise, back to your thing about what people would see. I don't know. I'm gonna have to listen to see what that thing on motivational videos. Okay, Trish's show on Monday nights, UPRN 105.3 New Orleans, is called The Missing Piece. And I'm telling you what, it's going to be a great show. I've known Trish for a while now, and I've worked with her on Chasing Prophecy, and you know, very interesting. She has a lot of good things to say, lots of good things to say, and it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to listening to our show. So, Trish, good luck to you. Thank you for being on my show. Thank you very much. Um, so, who knows what? But back to where I was talking before about everyone being nice to everybody. Um, it would be great. It would be great, but in reality, it never happened. Ah, you're welcome, Trish. You're welcome. Maybe I'll get you on here and we can talk about your show. 1 week. A week down the road, something, 2 weeks, whatever, and set something up. But it would be nice. I tried to go out and give somebody a smile or, come up and say, hey, your hair looks good. Tried to make them smile, try to make them feel good. But you know what? What's crazy about that is that with all the people around before they come to me, okay, before I give them that compliment, they've dealt with 20, 30 other people who treated them like crap. So when I give them that compliment, they're just like, oh, well. And it's like, no, I'm trying, I'm trying to make you happy. Maybe I'm just like going too far or hoping or going for a long reach. People are very angry and selfish anymore. They probably always were, but it's more public now. Yes, that's true, Denise, and it's sad. It's sad that people are very angry and selfish. I mean, why do you have to be angry? It's not going to kill you. Sure, people, disagree with each other, but for me, what I do for me is that I accept people for who they are and what they believe. And if they don't like what I like, then that's okay. I don't go out and try to get for ghost hunting. I'll give you a good, for instance, paranormal investigating. Okay. I started back in 2006, and at that time, TAPS was really big back then. And so there were other paranormal groups out there that were like in competition. They were in competition with everybody. Who can get the best video? Who can get the best EVP? Who can get, the best photo? And for me, I didn't care, you know? I didn't care if you did get, the best video because you got it. And, and to have an ego about it, it's just not right. You know, paranormal investigating to me is to help people and to find out answers that I need to find out for me. Okay. And when people would mock me and, call me every name in the book, um, condemn me, or whatever, that hurt. That hurt inside because I thought we were all in this to do something together. You know, I thought everybody would get into the paranormal unity. Yeah, I wanted it back then. And I mean, I've had over 100 people in my group all through the years, and a lot of them went off and they started their own groups. Okay. Some succeeded, some didn't. But you know what? If they needed help, I was there to help them. Okay. If they needed help. Or another paranormal group, would want to, hey, Shawn, what would you do in this situation? What equipment would you use in that situation? And, and then I'd tell them, and, I'm not giving, but they didn't want to hear it because they're the best, they want to be the best paranormal group. My group is good. Okay. My group is very, very, very good. All right. And we're well respected. And it's not because, I'm being egotistical when I say that. I'm being totally humble about it because we really worked hard. I worked hard to get where we're at right now. But what bothers me is when other groups go around with that ego and they just, spread it. And basically what you're doing is making an ass out of yourself, I'm just calling it right then and there. And, I am willing to learn from other groups, different, investigating techniques. I'd like to hear what they have to say. I'd like to see their videos or their pictures, and see what it's like. Maybe I can learn from something from them. We had a group on. Trish, if you're still on, what was the name of that group that we had on a couple of weeks ago? They have different way techniques. And Axel or something like that. Axel Investigations. I forget what they were, but they were pretty cool people, you know. And they did it, and there's stuff. Apex. Thanks, Trish. Apex Paranormal. And I do believe they're from Kansas City, Kansas. And honest to God, they were great. I talked to them. We talked to them, and they told us what they did and how they do it. They're shooting a film, 4 or 5. Thanks. Yeah, that's what I thought. Kansas City. I always thought Kansas City was in Missouri. I don't know why. Maybe there is a Kansas City, Missouri. I don't know. But all I know is that they filmed all their investigations. In fact, Trish had the opportunity to go on an investigation with them one time, and she really, really enjoyed it. But you know what? They did it because they enjoyed to do that. They didn't sound snobbish on the show. They were fun to talk to. They're going to be on Amazon TV, I do believe, in a couple of weeks. They filmed like 4 or 5 different investigations that they did, and they're definitely putting it on Amazon. So it's going to be on Amazon Prime. So if you're like scrolling through Amazon and you come up, look for Apex Paranormal, and you can see your shows. Um, what do you got there, Denise? He said, I think people on shows are pressured to get extreme results, but it should be a community because the field needs cooperation. You hit the nail right on the button there, buddy. You know, um, I did do one TV show. Um, it was what the hell was that girl on Friday night? I forget, but they had a second show with Beyond something, and I was on there. And you know what was crazy about that? I worked for a producer. I was working with a producer from Hollywood, California, and they came from California to shoot the show. And I couldn't do what I had to do. You know, I it was like, thanks. You'll like them, Denise. They're really cool people. But back to the show that I was on, I had to do everything the producer told me to do. I couldn't actually tell the people what I felt and what I saw and what the ghost was and how the ghost, you know, what happened in the house. I had to listen to the story that was given to the producer, and I just had to just show up, and it really bothered me, you know. TV. What blew me away by TV paranormal shows is that they, they have to find something, you know. I don't know if you, I don't know if you remember Denise when I had Raw Fear. It was a 13, series, 13 shows on WPM line, Pennsylvania, and there was a couple times that we investigated a place and we filmed it, and we did not get no reaction. Um, we didn't get no evidence, you know. And you know what? That's the way I wanted it to be happen. I wanted that to happen like that. Okay, to show people, okay, that not all paranormal investigations are you going to find something. You know, they were real paranormal investigations that we filmed and edited and put it on TV. You know, thanks, Denise. Like she said, I do. I liked how you did that show. Thank you. And I want to start doing it again. Denise, in the future, I want to come up to where I could do a 2 hour show. You know, get 4 people and start, just do a 2 hour special, find somewhere in Pittsburgh to find, or maybe West Virginia or Ohio, and go to it and film it and put it on TV. So hopefully, that will happen again. But yeah, it was real investigating, real investigations. It wasn't, the trash that you see out on the TV shows. Now, granted, okay, there are some shows out there that caught some good evidence, you know. Um, I tell you what, one show I really enjoyed was the Holzer Files. That was a good show, but they only had like 2 seasons. They never came back with any more, which I was a little disappointed in because I really enjoyed it. And they come up with some very good evidence on their cameras and stuff like that. Another thing that really bothers me about the paranormal shows that you see on TV is that they find the scariest person in the group, and they send them to the most scariest spot in the house or the area, and they put them down there by themselves. And sure, if they're, why would you want to do that to somebody? I mean, what to give them, to watch some guy sit in the cellar and get scared by looking at his own shadow, and they think it's funny, but it really isn't. It it really isn't funny. It's just to get ratings, and that's what it's all about. So that's where my thing comes on with paranormal shows in relation to how people aren't nice to each other. And maybe someday, it will happen that I can get my show back on. Oh, would that be so cool if I could get my 2-hour show back on the main channel? Maybe by working this people. Send Jason down there. Yeah, we'll go back down there to the Bel Air house, and me and him will be down there, and we can, catch that rabbit, or was it duck? Was it duck? That's a long story, but that's for another show. Upcoming investigations for us. I'm gonna have to look it up for what the name of that place was called. So we were. I called this one place down in Glanville. Please excuse me while I look this up. Okay, hold on. Okay, where are we at? Buxton. Hold on. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, we are going to the historic Buxton Inn in Ohio. Okay, and I was on Facebook scrolling, and I saw this up on my page, on my newsfeed, I guess if you want to say it, and it looked pretty interesting. So I sent them a email saying that we'd like to come down and investigate it. And they got back to me, and I was surprised that they got back to me because I didn't really think, they were interested in it. But I talked to the person lady who owns the place, and we struck a deal with them, which I'm really, really excited about. We're going to, it's an inn, it's a haunted inn, and there are rooms there that people rent out to spend the night there. And what they're holding is the people who are staying there, they're given like an investigation of the house or the inn and the different rooms and PPS. We're going to be helping them out by sending them, to bring them along our investigation, show them how it does. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting. And we're going to actually be down there 3 times this year, once a month. This month coming up, January 29th, we're going to be there. February 19th, then March 26th. And I'm really excited about that because not only does it give us the opportunity to go to a different place out of state to investigate, but it gets us to meet more people who are interested in the paranormal, For me, I'm really, really excited about that. And so is the group. But a long time ago, back in 2006, when I started, I had the opportunity to take the group to Nemacolin Castle and do an investigation. Now that place is freaky haunted, okay? And if I have to give them a donation so we can get in there for one night, it would be worth it because we got a lot of great evidence. And I remember the one evidence that we got the most, and I don't even know where the video, it was so long ago, but we were sitting in a little girl's room, okay, and there was a rocking chair, a rocking horse, and we're sitting here, and all of a sudden, the rocking horse starts moving by itself. And this is a true story. This is true. It started to rock by itself, like somebody was on it, rocking back and forth, like I do in this chair. Hope I don't make y'all seasick. But a guy came up and he says, "Can you make that go faster?" And all of a sudden, the horse just started going and going and going and going and going. And it was crazy. It was really, really crazy. We got a lot of decent evidence out of that place. So hopefully this year I can, talk to them and get into Nemacolin. We also, back in September this year, we're going to be going to the Hinsdale House up in New York. And that's another famous haunting place, that people go and investigate. And I'm looking forward to that trip. I don't know if I'm going to make it out there this year, but next year, not this year, but next year, hopefully I can get out to Kansas and do the Sally House and we'll bring Trish along because she's been there, and then we'll go and investigate out there. So I'm getting close to retirement age, and I'm looking forward to buying an RV or a truck with a little RV on the back of it, and just travel and investigate. You know, yeah, good girl. Yeah, yes, I will be out there in Kansas one day. The next couple of years, I'll be there. And believe it or not, I also want to see tornadoes too. I don't know why. I'm just a tornado freak. That'd be so cool to see one. But no, I'm due to retire, and I want to travel and go investigate. I want to go to places that I couldn't go because of working all this time. Also I have another hobby that I do gold prospecting, and what's really cool is there was a couple of times where I would prospect gold in the daytime, and then I would come back and prospect ghosts at night. It was cool. Didn't he? Okay. Okay. Hey, one last kind. Did you have more private haunted house calls with people stuck at home during COVID? No, we didn't, Denise. In fact, not too many at all. Um, I guess it was because of the COVID, people catching the COVID and stuff. No, we really didn't do too many. I think for that whole year, we did about maybe four or five. Um, not too many. But without the COVID going on, you know, we did a lot of houses, a lot of houses. Um, and last year was kind of bummer because I do a lot of speaking engagements, and I couldn't do any last year because of the COVID, because all the libraries were down. And now that they're opened up again, hopefully, I can, I hate to say it, but get on the circuit again. But I call it a circuit when I speak, and I just like getting the word out to people that, they exist. There's a lot of other places, the Italian club down in Charleroi. That was a really very, very haunted place. And it was really crazy because we were upstairs and they had like a dance hall. All right. And it was an old club. And what we did was we played music from the 40s on our phone. And we would get a lot of reaction with orbs, bouncing, shadows, moving around, orbs bouncing. And they were listening to the music and got very active. But we come to find out, okay, what we found out was when we just spoke like this, we would not get a response if we would ask them a question, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. Denise, I would think so too, but I think they were just so caught up into the COVID that they really didn't pay attention to it. Or maybe they did experience something and they just didn't want to talk about it. But back to the Italian club, um, they they we didn't get no reaction by asking them questions, and all of a sudden Russ came up with the idea. He said, "Well, let's go on this app, this language app, okay, and we'll put Italian in." What it does is that once you say a sentence in English, it responds as whatever language. So we set it for Italian, and we got action. You know, a lot of people call that trigger investigating, and you know what? Maybe you got to do it. But it was like really, really cool that we got to the opportunity. So I'm hoping that we get the chance to go back down to the Italian club in Charleroi. But anybody out there watching or listening to the show, Augie, Denise, Trish, where's your favorite places to go? Maybe we can talk about that next week. So yeah, everybody I was around the board tonight. It's getting really close. We're the witching hour for me, because I'm coming up on 51 minutes. But before I go, I just wanted to say everybody that I forgot to say in front of the show about mental health. Hopefully, I do think about you guys. And I do pray for you. And I hope whatever measures that you take in order to make yourself better, I hope you're doing it with an open heart. A lot of healthy stuff. Um, I'm not in a good mood right now. I mean, I'm not in the right place right now. So hopefully, as time gets on, that will be the Shawn that's a happy Shawn that everybody likes. Because right now I'm not. But you know what? That's on me. Please do not feel sorry for me. That's something I got to work through, and I've been working through it for a long, 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 long time. So I want to thank everybody for listening into the show, and I want to thank everybody for watching. And good night, Denise, Trish, Augie, everybody that hung around the show. And on that note, just have one thing to say: happy hunting. Thank you.